Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 604, recording live on May 7th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tony.
I am another host, Kyle.
And it's me, Kelly. And that's it. Are you guys hearing feedback?
No,
I'm here.
Might be me.
Okay. All right. And I'm Kelly. Hello.
Good.
Hey.
Hi. Wow, look at us go.
Yeah,
We're-
off to a strong start.
The squad goes smaller every single day. Is that the thing?
It's springtime. It's busy.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
true. That's true.
People
Shooting season are starting, so
People
that's
have
a lot of fun.
lives.
Ground
Right?
is thawing out, getting yards prepped after all the snow, and yeah.
Mhm.
The wind is very aggressive. There's leaves everywhere.
Oh, it's been like storm central down here the last couple weeks.
I heard.
We actually had like storm chasers driving through town and everything.
Oh God.
I saw it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's not confidence instilling.
Nope.
What kind of storm do you get? You don't get hurricanes there, do you?
We get tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
That's fair.
Yeah. So on that note, why don't we get moving there, Tony?
Yeah, let's go to what we did in guns. Let's start with Kelly first.
What we did in guns. I wasn't on last week, but I did do things in guns this week ish. I renewed my FRPC membership, so I'm officially a member. I've also renewed ish my membership at the Trap and Skeet Club. So Kelly and Kyle and I are going to go on Wednesday night skeet night dates. Technically not dates, but you know what I mean. Gonna go do those on Wednesday nights again. Today it poured, so we did not go today. However, that being said, Kelly's working next week on Wednesday night, so Kyle and I have a skeet night date. Technically not a date. And what else did I do?
That's getting real weird real quick.
So this past weekend was the orientation intake for some new members at FRPC, so I went and helped out with that. Did that on Sunday. It was really good. We got to see 12 new members or 15 new members. And then in 2 weeks there's going to be 15 more new members. So I was asked to do a club level ATT course, handgun course, which we do at FRPC, but sadly it looks like there's not going to be a full course this time, because guess what?
I was wondering, how are you still doing it? Like, at one point, everyone would have had it.
Yeah, well, not everyone's going to have them.
So is it?
So
I know you've probably said on the show before. Is this to shoot handguns at the range, or is it more like a holster certification?
no, not a holster certification is to shoot handguns. We just, if you want to bring your handguns to the range, we ask, it goes back to the old school, like CFO /
Right.
Insurance, asking for people who are shooting pistols to take a secondary course, a safety course on shooting your pistol, and then there's a live fire drill at the end of it, and if you can get all 10 shots onto a piece of paper at 25 yards, you're good to go. So Kelly and I do that with Henri, who is at FRBC, and we still do it because, quite frankly, the executive just want to make sure people are safe. And hey, you know what? I tell people it is what it is. Yes, you've already taken your RPAL course, but did you really fire or really shoot? And so we just do that. And then people, once they can show that they are safely able to handle and manipulate a firearm, and they understand the different actions. And I'll be honest with you, there's a few that don't. then they're able to come to the range and bring their own pistols. And so it's really simple and easy. Just come spend the day with Kelly and Kelly and go do that. What else? So a couple of announcements. The AGM for the CCFR, which was supposed to be, notice I said supposed to be, June 28th in Niagara Falls. It's been canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the live part of it has been canceled. The reasoning is, and I think this is really being fiscally responsible and to our members, is we need all the help that we can get with respect to putting more effort into everything surrounding keeping our guns, because the election did not help us, right, as gun owners. So it doesn't really make sense to go out and have, a big party and celebrate our 10th anniversary and then have a Liberal government that just came in. So we are going to be doing a virtual AGM, and then, quite frankly, let's put our money where we should be putting it. And I'm okay with that. So we had a directors meeting recently about it. And I voted in favor of doing that because it just makes sense, and it makes sense for our members, and it makes sense. The announcement did take place there. It's been posted on social media as well, that, instead of spending a little bit of money, it's a lot of money, actually, not a little bit, to put that money back in towards, doing what we do and do really well as the CCFR. Our objectives are to educate, and it's educating non-gun owners, and then also advocacy and lobbying. And we do want to lobby the new MPs that are going to be on the Hill, and being bipartisan as well. We do really want to be nonpartisan. That is the CCFR, and give advice to everybody about safe handling of firearms and gun ownership, and making recommendations. So that's one of the announcements that have been made recently too. So I did attend a director's meeting for the CCFR, and that was one of the decisions. And I've had a couple of directors meeting as well. So that's what I was doing last week, by the way. So instead of coming on the show, I was on that director's call. But I think it just makes sense. So a lot going on, as I said, going to get shooting. Spending some time with people, spending some time with new shooters. And what about you, Tony?
Well, I teased something, so I brought it out.
There you go.
It's still a work in progress, and you can see, the viewers will know it's in pieces, but this is I guess I'll tell everyone what it is now. As this is a Nova Speed, as Kyle have suggested previously. We have one of our competitors on the range who is getting out of pump action. Not Taylor, but someone else who is getting out of pump action into a semi-auto. So I was able to snatch it. He was trying to enlarge the loading port even more, despite it already having an oblique cut and gaping huge. I found it really easy to load this way, just because you can, with the design of the trigger group, which is not shown right now, you can just put 2 down, push on it, and then put the 2 more down, push on it. So as Kyle has said before, it's just a gun. No, technically not. It does help you do quad loads, so pretty excited about that. But me being very, focused on aesthetics, I found the port cutting not straight enough. I don't even know how to comment on it, so I have to go in and ruin it. And
I will say, with the port opening that was done on that, that's what I would call like a strong hand load port, where they cut the one side lower than the other.
This.
Yes.
But wouldn't you want the high point to be on the other side?
No, you don't want to wrap around the gun. So when you're strong hand reloading, you shouldn't actually see the port. So you're actually coming down from underneath. Here, sorry, we'll just do something here. So you be coming underneath, and I should probably pull out a shotgun myself, but you don't want to be wrapping up over top and loading from the top,
Right.
from the belt, and then load
Slap
more or
it
less
on
from the
there,
bottom, right?
Interesting.
For a
Okay.
strong hand reload. So that's why that cutout is there. It's also easier to funnel into that spot. You don't have to hit dead center straight on because you're not looking at your load port typically. Like if you watch guys doing like the top guys running strong hand reloads, they're not looking at the load port. That's all a feel reload. Whereas that's where the weak hand is nice because you can just glance down and you can go directly on top and get it in.
Right. I was just thinking for strong hand, somehow you don't want a ledge, so you can just put the shells on it, go for it, and then put more shells on it and go for it. Instead, you want to. You're like fighting gravity. I thought maybe it's just not intuitive to me.
No, you're not fighting
maybe
gravity. You're not fighting gravity at all. You're not letting go of the shells.
True.
They're staying in contact with your palm when you slide them in, and then you're just pushing through. So this just helps you get up on the lifter to push the lifter down and through. So instead of wrapping out over top and having to overcome coming over a ledge, which as soon as you push that down, now that ledge would hinder you a little bit.
Okay. So your thumb
Right?
isn't as free.
Well, no, if with that ledge, if that
Right.
ledge was on the other side, it would end up hitting your palm. So like when I load, as soon as I start the shells, I actually open my hand up a bit. I'll have the two shells here, which let me get my dummy loads. Because it's easier to show with shells in hand. So as soon as I start these shells, my hand opens up. So it's just the pressure on the spring, and then behind my thumb, it's keeping it down, but I'm not actually holding it with my fingertips. My fingers kind of roll back and open up so that then they can actually push down in the receiver. And so that's where that side cut makes it easier for coming in off the side and loading in like this. You're not having to overcome a ledge and then push in like this.
But how come you don't do more of these?
I don't, because you can yes, that port makes it pretty easy and makes it easier for a strong side reload. You can still do that with what we'll call a symmetrical load port, or what I would call I just call it a symmetrical load port. But for weekend, that opening can mess you up because now you don't have both sides of the receiver to help guide in, especially when you're letting go of those shells. Right? Strong hand, you have your palm to kind of keep those shells there. And so it's just it's harder. It makes it easier on one side, harder on the other. And so it's more or less make it like that's basically a strong hand reload shotgun. You can load weekend with it. Absolutely. It's going to take a little bit more practice because now you have a space for shells to pop free.
Interesting.
So and also like you're learning, trying to get your ramp symmetrical and looking right with one side cut down from the other, that's tough to do. If I did that with, you mentioned Taylor with his Daria, not his Daria, sorry. What was the brand? They kind of were trying to take. No, not Gersan. Breda.
Yeah.
With his Breda B12. B12.
Oh, right.
That one of those ones, the Breda models came cut similar. It had the lower cut, and doing that one and trying to get it symmetrical was a challenge, just to make it like you said, aesthetics and make it look good. So like it's not a simple load port. You do have a challenge on your hands for the aesthetics.
I think I don't have to have it symmetrical. I just need the edges to be straight. It's very weird interpretation of
to
aesthetics
make it not look lopsided is a challenge. Yes.
Well, we'll see. Worst case, I have to import it into the States or something. We'll see. We'll need to seek help of the masters. But I'll probably have more to say about this gun the more I shoot it. I haven't shot it yet. I'm already starting to mess with it, which is probably a bad plan. But from some preliminary research, this, despite bearing the Nova name, have nothing to do with a Nova. This gun, from what I can find out so far, is based on, I guess, my favorite gun out of the Super 90 series. It is basically a pump-only M3. So M3 being the only one in the Super 90 family that had a convertible pump, as in you can shoot it as a inertia semi-auto and as a pump action. And
that's
I believe,
actually like the Benellis that our Canadian military uses as the M3s.
Yeah.
that's cool. I don't see them that much in the civilian market. I'm not too sure.
They're not in the civilian market. They are actually deemed prohib.
Whoa.
Yeah, there are Benelli models that are deemed prohib because they are one big reason because they are sold with the extension.
The tubes?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's overcapacity magazine, because that's how that part number was sold. And I think that's the similar deal with like if you look at some of the
I know the
M90s,
SPAS 12 is a prohib. At least I
the
recall.
SPAS 12 is basically actually I can't say. I thought it was part of the AK family, but I could be wrong.
I thought not, but
Yeah, I was trying to
anyway.
catch my words there, but I'm probably wrong on that. But like even like if you look on Armalytics, there's M90 models that are prohib. You can go and find a bunch of M2 models and M90 models that are prohib, and it comes down to the capacity. Because I thought that the M3 being prohib was silly, and I don't think it's because of the dual action. I think it's because of the magazine capacity.
that is interesting. I did not know that. I know in the States there's a differentiation between HK imported M3s and I think Benelli, Beretta Corp did an import as well. But I don't know how this would be from a perspective of getting accessories, because I believe the tube, for example, in front, you will be using an M3 barrel nut for this. A tube nut for it. So
I'm really curious on that.
yeah, and if you go on to Armalytics, if you're interested, it doesn't cross-reference to anything, which is even
No.
odder. It's not, for example, if you search for a standard Nova, it will cross over to the Supernova. They're not the same gun, but they have similarities. And this thing have a aluminum receiver, which is like the selling point of the Nova family is to have a polymer receiver kind of thing. And they have this cover for your pump handle, which is very similar to what you will have on M3. So I thought it's interesting.
I'm curious. Your handguard, is that been cut down, or when you rack that bolt open, does it cover your load port?
It will not. It will not cover the low port. This is just the the guard
That was the
portion.
thing, and I was
So
gonna say if it when you rack it bolt open and it covers the load port, cut that.
You gotta
handguard
cut that hand off.
because you will pinch your hand.
I guess I never.
I thought it was silly, and I handled one that wasn't done, and I don't know why, but just going through manual arms, I pinched my hand.
That's funny. I usually grab them pretty in the front. My SXP, my first shotgun, was a Defender model, so I have the more tactical handguard that doesn't cover the loading port. So I'm kind of used to that. I racked it. I don't believe it does cover the loading port. Not like they're gonna do a open bolt reload. It's not really fireable, I don't think. But yeah, the
Recommendation:
pinch free.
if it does cover the load port, cut it so it doesn't.
Good thing I don't have to do that, because oof, that would be something else. I would have went to, I don't know, Magpul or something. It's like, can you build me one of these? I know Magpul only does furniture for the 590 and the 870 so far, but yeah. So more to come on the Benelli Nova Speed.
Yeah, and I just did a quick search. I was way wrong on the SPAS 12, which I thought I was my initial thought. So yeah.
Well, the Sega 12. I guess the names are all S's, so it gets confusing.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
What are we doing for the main topic?
We can read Eddie's comment. He rewatched our 2025 election night coverage, and he left a lot
I
of
think
comments.
Kelly's trying to hint at something.
So everything that you just talked about, very interesting, by the way, and I was loving hearing it. And I really like your perspective, by the way, Tony, because I also have a supernova. But anyway, that was supposed to be our main topic. We were just in what we did for guns. We haven't gotten to there yet.
Well, yeah, that's why you should have asked Kyle to go for what he did in guns first, so I could have just connected it. But let's go to Connor.
Well, as I said, things have been busy. I have not gotten up to really anything. Some good news though. Aero Precision finally shipped out the AR-10 lower that we ordered back on Black Friday.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's May.
Yep. I got the text yesterday, the day before that it arrived in town. So now I've got.
I don't want to spread rumors, but I've heard rumors about Aero recently.
I got in contact with, well, they didn't give me any information, but I know one of their sponsored shooters fairly well, who actually gave me one of the contact numbers for the people there to see what was going on with it. And as soon as I started talking to him, he's like, yep, I don't know what's going on. Apparently they're getting in front of it now, but they won't even tell me what happened or what. So they are dealing with some stuff. We're dealing with some stuff. I don't know. I know, like, I like their products, but this last thing with Black Friday has really kind of soured my taste a little bit.
Yeah, rubbed you the wrong way. I would say that
ordering
too.
this stuff,
Golly.
like this AR-10, that was luck that we just ordered it because it was on
Were you
sale.
supposed to? Yeah, if you had to use it at a
Well,
match,
because in the same order, we were ordering stuff to build guns for guys on Superstition.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just lucky that it was that receiver that got so delayed and not the AR-15 lower that we had ordered on the same order.
But that did show up.
Yeah, that
on
did
time.
show up.
Okay.
Well, no, not on time, but it showed up a couple months later. Like it showed up in January. But
Okay.
there was supposed to be like 1 week shipping, but and they still advertise
wow.
that, but it's 7 days. No, it's like more like 7 months right now, but yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, I like their product, and hopefully they get turning that stuff around because they're, especially for the prices, like they are what I would call, especially like
They're like
you're
the benchmark for good value
getting
mid-tier
billet-
stuff,
the
right?
price that you're getting these billet receivers for, like they're budget billet receivers, which is awesome. You know, not your forged receiver. It's a nice billet receiver. And I mean, like that's the receiver set on my competition gun right now, and it works great. I'm looking at a different set just because of ergonomics and the way it works, left-hand side charge, and don't have to use a bad lever, stuff like that. But yeah. So that's it. I gotta get down to the store, fill out my 4473, and then basically when I get back from Alaska, I'll be able to pick it up. So
Alaska?
yeah, I gotta go up to Alaska for work. Go
That's
freeze my
pretty
butt off.
cool.
When are you going to Alaska?
Actually, yeah. By the way, I might not be on the show next week
Okay, so it's next week. How long
because
are you
I
in
will
Alaska?
be almost as far north in Alaska that you can go.
Oh,
Fairbanks?
No,
no.
Like, oh god, you're going to the oil
Prudhoe
town.
Bay.
Where?
Prudhoe Bay.
Oh. I was going to
That'd
say, because I'm going to be there the week after.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know
there.
when I'm coming back. I don't have a return flight. I'm going
I'm-
up there to commission some stuff, so I don't know. They told me tentatively the 19th, but we'll see.
Oh, that's when I'm supposed to be on my little cruise and get there. And then we're going to be in Whittier and Anchorage on the 26th. So never know.
I will probably be long gone by then.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully.
I'm thinking I might be in Anchorage on the 19th.
I won't be. So
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
What's
We'll
the
just miss each other.
what's the weather like up there right now?
Well, for me, it's cold.
For me,
You
it's
grew up in Grand Prairie. What?
And I've been living in where
he's
Mo-
thin. His blood is
my blood has thinned out. It's supposed to be about highs of -2, -1 while I'm there,
Oh, I'm not too bad.
down to like -10 or so overnight. But I don't like it when I see 20s on my phone when I look at the weather.
Yeah, it's in Fahrenheit too.
Yeah. So
It like barely ever gets into the negatives.
yeah. Well, yeah, we rarely do, and it'll be like overnight kind of thing, maybe a couple days during the year. But yeah, I gotta go by the storage unit and see what I actually brought down here for winter work gear and winter wear, because I know I kept some. But
Good.
yeah, that's basically it for me.
Cool.
Hey,
Let's
awesome.
go to upcoming events, and Kelly can read us the Maple Seeds coming up.
No,
Is
I
it
don't
busy
have
yet?
it open. Yeah, we
Oh.
do. We are busy, and oh boy, we have a whole bunch across the country that have just been populated in our website. The other thing that's happening as well is we have sent out so far 3 emails to our members. Excuse me. And we're sending out another email next week that includes events from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Ontario, Alberta, and BC. So we have events that are happening all across the country. There has been some people that have reached out about Manitoba specifically. We have some challenges there. We're trying to work those out. Saskatchewan has some events that are being populated as well. Those go out to the public pretty soon. But overall, just go and look at our website. And if you have any questions, you can, there's a little message thing that you can populate there, and it'll come to me, and I'll forward it on to the appropriate region. So yeah, instead of
That
reading them all,
would be mapleseedrifleman.com/events. And
Correct.
what I see right now is, there's a few that already happened. There's Cape Nova in Nova Scotia. Tickets still available for the 16th of May. Sherwood Park, 24th, 25th of May. Regina on the 31st. And on the same day, Atlantic Marksman Association, Dartmouth in Nova Scotia. Armstrong, BC, June 1st. Rocky Rod and Gun Club. Oh, that one's sold out in Alberta, June the 8th. Brookville District Fish and Game, opening soon, June the 14th. And Havelock Sportsman Club in New Brunswick on the 28th of June.
yes. Thank you, Tony. Not all of them are open to the public. We are sending those as they get released to the public. So the ones that are on there have been confirmed with the ranges, and the ranges still have some of them, but there's others that are getting sent out. So yeah. Hi. That's it.
For HGG Firearm Training, we have events coming up later, end of this month, start of June, May 31st and 1st at Sherwood Park. And following 2 weeks later, 14th, 15th in June, also Sherwood Park. Get your PAL and our PAL.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Uh,
BTSA is having a steel challenge on May 24th.
Yep, that is still open right now.
That'll be on Practice Score. And ORA, the Ontario Rifle Association, they also have their events calendar up at ontarioRifleAssociation.ca, and included in there is some 1,000-yard practices. So watch the calendar. Events are moving around for May, and some ranges at Borden are undergoing work. So find all their updates on their website. Also, Adriel's putting on a match. He is match directing, building a Rimfire Madness match at Sherwood Park on June 28th, 29th. It is on Practice Score, so I imagine if you go search up SPFGA or even Rimfire Madness and just search around the Edmonton area, you'll be able to find that. And when Adriel says madness. I'm sure that's going to be a lot. 3-gun matches. You can look at 3gun.ca for basically any of the 3-gun matches that we know are going on. And if you know of some that aren't on there, let us know so that Adriel can get those posted up there.
Sweet.
And then, like, this last event is National Range Day. So now's the time to start planning. It's,
Yeah.
less than a month away. So you should have been planning already. But June 7th is National Range Day. And yeah, get your club doing something for that day.
Yeah. And if you don't know what to do or you need a guide or what have you, go to nationalrangeday.ca and register, but also get your guide, get your promo material and also your guideline there too. I think it's more important than ever that we do these. The other thing is if you're in the Ottawa area, it will be taking place again. There will be bouncy castles again.
And if I were to do a recommendation without looking at the materials that they have already out there for National Range Day, put on something for just general public, not just gunnies. Like, hey, get the advertising out. Hey, do a try it day on National Range Day. Get people interested, get people shooting and interested, showing them that they're not big, black, scary things. That it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, that's why we have bouncy castles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's only when you put hot tubs with the bouncy castles that it becomes an issue, right?
Yeah. No, not necessarily.
I'm talking about the protest and the
Yes.
trucker, the convoy.
Yeah, that one. Oh God, it's been a long day today. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, going to the news. Don't have too many news, do we? Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, met Trump. That was something.
Yeah, I watched half of the media portion of that. Holy cow. Like, did you guys watch it?
I watched part of it.
Man,
The
did
part
you
he
see
said,
out
never
of
said
his
never.
element.
Yeah.
He looked so uncomfortable and out of his element. Like,
That's because
it was because he is, but it wasn't a business meeting. Like,
No. And then Trump, he's not a president. Okay, he's the president, but let's be real also, and I respect our U.S. listeners and all that. And I really like them, by the way. But Trump isn't somebody who's presidential. So, and then you have Mark Carney, who is somebody who is business and not a prime minister. But how the fuck did he get elected as prime minister? I don't know. Canadians are idiots. But here you have somebody who is responsible for banks and business. And here you have somebody who is responsible for, building towers and doing the entrepreneurial, are you my assistant, whatever it is. Anyways, so it was awkward. I'm going to be also honest, I didn't really watch all that much. People had been streaming it during their lunch hour at work, and I'm going, I got better things to do. But I did catch some of the highlight reel, let me say that. And just it's I think Trump is 100% amusing. I also think that Trump is doing things for Americans. And I think that Canadians, if they were thinking they were going to vote, they probably did not vote for the prime minister that's going to make things easier for Canadians. That's all. I'm just going to say that.
I would agree, but we'll have to see. I mean,
yeah.
I agree. Trump is not your typical presidential person, but I like it because it is really shaking stuff up, and you can tell he learned something between the first and second term.
Yeah. So when there's this, the press is taking pictures, and the two of them are standing side by side with a thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
And what message does that send to the Canadians that just voted for him?
Yep.
Other than, I'm not going to be meeting with. I'm just going to shut up now and just let's move on. Let's move on, Tony.
Sounds good. We'll go to New Gun Stuff. New Gun Stuff is currently not being sponsored. If you'd like to sponsor us, email us at slamfireradio@gmail.com. I see a few things on TFB TV Showtime. Let me try to stream to this. Okay, so there's the new Benelli Nova 3. I don't know where the new Nova 2 went, but it's an improvement on the Nova. They changed it out. I believe the Nova originally was like a polymer overmold receiver with a metal inner structure. Now the metal structure is gone. It's more like, how do you say, metal infused polymer, but it's, I guess, similar vein as at AR-15. You can have a polymer receiver if you do it right. So I guess that's not huge pressure coming out of a shotgun anyway. They keep advertising it uses a Benelli M4 bolt. I don't know what the significance of that is. Maybe you can use all the Benelli barrels. That'll be really weird though. But
Yeah, I can't remember offhand what was special about the M4 bolt. It's been a while since I've had one apart. So
yeah, but if you want a new pump action Benelli, Henry introduced their Bear's Leg 4570 Murs leg lever pistol, I guess you can say. I forgot what's the barrel length, like 13, 14 kind of thing. You have a, I don't know if they show a picture of it. They have your traditional handgun grip, lever action handgun grip on it. So yeah, if you want to hurt a lot. And then, this is not on the NRA show, but PSA is coming out with a fake Bison. So that's pretty cool. It's based on their AKV system family of AK style PCC, I guess. And you'll get your proper support on the front with the new handguard, I guess, which will properly support your Helix drum. That I don't think they mentioned how many rounds it holds, but the original thing I think held 60 rounds. And I believe this will be in 9mm by 19. I forgot if the Russian Bison was in 9 by 19 or 9 by 18. But interesting nonetheless. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is this
interesting.
going to be PCC division legal?
Well, I was going to make a comment because you said it's going to be, but it's PSA. We have no idea whether it's actually going to come to market or if they're going to make a couple of these. And
It's going to hit the market this Friday. I don't know how many they're going to make, but
Okay.
they give us a date. So
Kind of have a habit of doing that.
yeah, that's true. But anyway, that's all the new gun stuff I can scrounge up. Oh yeah, there's some news about, I guess, Citadel. There's a few Turkish manufacturers who are either building some semi-auto rifles on shotgun platforms. So I know some of them are, definitely. We've seen them firsthand. Some of them may not be. We've seen that 223 was built on a 12 gauge chassis. If you want to learn more about that, a Canadian YouTuber, also here in Calgary, Bat 888, Bat 8s, that's how I call him, has videos on that. He got himself one. I don't know through whom. I think through the distributor of Kodiak back in the day, Kodiak Defense. So if you really want a semi-auto 223, it's currently FRT approved as a non-restricted. So
Well, I was just scrolling back because I thought there was one that you guys posted in chat. There was a Citadel 8500 semi-auto rifle.
I think that one is 308. I don't
I
know
was just
if
looking
anyone
at 308
has one yet.
non-restricted.
Yep. So I don't know how that one's built. I haven't seen pictures, like first-hand pictures of it, but the 223 does seem to be built on a 12 gauge platform. I don't know how. Maybe they're just using some common parts, but
Okay.
Well, we don't have a main topic except.
Well, we did, but you
Well, I blew it.
out of the
Oops.
bag at the beginning of the What We Did in Guns. Anyways,
Yeah, but we'll probably be talking about my shotgun more and see how much. I don't know. This will be, for me, it will be a very shotgun rimfire focused shooting season, just because what is available and what is practical at this point. I don't even know if they're still holding PCC divisions as a part of regular IPSC matches.
What you need to do, and we could do like a whole video or even show doing it, just not on YouTube, is you get your Form 6 for that shotgun. You buy an airplane ticket.
Fly down there, get it modified, fly back.
And we'll get that all fixed up, and we can even use it for content too.
If I ruin it bad enough, I might do that.
Oh, and now it's gonna be a fix stream.
Cody effed it up. How are we gonna fix it?
Okay. Well, we're not going to. We're just going to move along. It's what we do, right?
Right, and we have lots of comments from Eddie because
Okay.
Got a bunch of emails too.
We do. We
Oh,
have one
really?
that we have a nice one that is from one of our US listeners, and I
cool. We'll move
my
into
comment.
listener feedback then. I guess this is the listener feedback episode. That will be our main topic. And Kyle, would you mind reading the emails?
Sure. So
Depends
first
on how many
one
there
is, hey everybody, I'm just listening to 603. I only caught the end of the episode on Facebook. Not to be a jerk, but I just want to say to Tony, haha, sorry. I have a Ross M10 and 303 British. Besides my 308, it is one of my top favorite bolt guns, minus the cost of 303 ammo nowadays. Sorry, it is not for sale though. It was my grandfather's rifle that has been in our family for over 70 years. But I will say, if you can find one, definitely jump on it. Take care, Jordan.
That is super cool. I believe the M10 was. Oh, actually. Shoot, now I don't remember. I need to brush up on my Ross history. I forgot if the M10 was the civilian model or the military model. I was more. The shape of the Ross in my brain ingrained was the one from Battlefield 5 or was it Battlefield 1? I believe it existed in both games, which would be the Mark III. But yeah, dude, pick up yourself some reloading stuff. Then 303 wouldn't be too expensive. In my very, very early days of like my gun exploration thing, I remember a lot of people talking about 303s having headspace issues as the gun grows older. And at the time, of course, I didn't understand what making custom brass and neck sizing your brass mean. But, you know, when you have a lot of old guns in obscure calibers, I think reloading can be something that's very cost effective.
It can be, especially custom loads and that type of thing, yeah. Our next email. Hey guys, just got my PAL literally a month before the election, and I wanted to ask you guys how I can get into competitive shooting with the current state of firearms in Canada. Also, the first gun I ever shot was some random Soviet side-by-side 12 gauge that my boss's dad owned. Accidentally shot off both barrels and bruised my shoulder, but I still hit the clay. And my first gun purchase was a Type 56 SKS. Went into my local store looking for a pump shotty, but I saw it on the shelf and I just couldn't pass it up. I was introduced to you guys on the election stream, moved on to the podcast, so I wanted to share. Thanks, Coleman. So
Awesome. Thank you, Coleman.
So Coleman, at this point, like, you just got to look in your area and see what's available.
Why doesn't Coleman get back to us and let us know where he's from, and then we can connect him with some people? But I think it's a great topic too. We've covered it several times, but the evolution of Slamfire Radio and the topic that he's suggesting has also evolved as well with the restrictions
Yeah.
and how they've kept coming out. So Tony brought up a really good comment specifically about PPC or the control
PCC.
Yes, thank you. And then competition, and whether and where things are going to, right? So I think we have to evolve with our shooting, because if not,
Yeah.
competition is in Canada. Like we can't all.
Clubs and leagues are evolving,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, it is a completely different landscape than it was a couple years ago.
10 years ago when we first started ish, or way back when we could do things for fun. But yeah, we can't put a wildcat on. Speaking of wildcats, I'm going to send something to you guys in a private chat. We can't get on a plane and fly down south, and well, we could. It'd just be very expensive every time we wanted to go shoot guns.
Yeah.
So I do think that shotgun for IPSC. What else? We can still challenge with.
I know some stores were actually doing it where you could rent a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a friend that can loan you a handgun, go get into IPSC and help that grow. Get your black badge. Do that. There's CRPS.
Yep. So rimfire.
Yeah, rimfire precision, or even PRS, full out PRS. Sporting clays, trap, skeet. There's still a bunch out there. On the action side, it is vastly different now, but the clubs are still trying to do it. But more of your traditional shooting sports are still out there and going.
Yep. Just go and borrow something. I was talking to somebody recently. I was encouraging people to go and take their RPAL course, and the guy was going, well, why? I have my PAL and we're never going to be able to own handguns. And I said, well, you never know. It may change. But not only that, go and take it, because one, if it ever does go back, you're going to be prepared and able to purchase before people who haven't and then have to take the course. But not only that, it also, our numbers are there. And when we start talking about things, we have to influence things. And it may be in a positive way, because you know what? If there's 2.4 million gun owners here in Canada, and of that, what's the majority of the RPAL holders, right, that have guns? I'm just hoping that people will start listening when... so I'm talking about our people, decision makers, will start listening when we can show them that this is the amount of people that they're affecting.
Yeah.
So don't be a poo-poo head. Go take your RPAL course. Tell, Adriel that you would like to take his course because he's a really good guy and he's still offering it. And then come here do your club level ATT with me. Okay.
I know.
And
okay, Tony.
Oh, sorry. And if your PAL is about to expire, you get to renew it for 50% of the cost, because upgrade is only 50% of the application cost.
Yeah, but don't wait. Do it now. Don't wait for it to.
That's true too. Just do it. Just do it. That's I'm concerned that as longer times goes on, there's going to be less, especially like individual instructors, just less people offering that because the demand isn't there. So
yeah.
And I know I've shared when we've been on the topic before, when I first got my PAL and challenge it, I got the option to do the RPAL, challenge the RPAL at the same time. I turned it down. I said, I can only shoot pistol at the range. I'm not going to go do that. No, screw that. I'm going hunting. That was the nice sole reason for it. Move on years, and I actually get into 3-gun, and I wish I had my RPAL, because at that time I now had to find an RPAL course, take it, and then wait 6 months for my RPAL to come in before I could actually even get like my pistol, or at that time my rifle for competition. Get my AR for competition. So it go get it, even if you don't think you use it, get it. So then if you do decide to get into something or try something, you're ready. You're ready to go right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coleman. Email the show again. and let us know where you're at, and we'll try and help you connect with some people in your area that can get you going. We'll move on to our last email, and I'll
See,
just
it's
have a
first.
drink because it's a longer one.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Hey, folks. I'm sure everyone is pretty bummed out. Just so you know, a lot of folks here the same way as well. There was a lot of hope that Canada would swing more to the right this election. I'd like to blame Trump, but honestly, Tony, quit clicking around.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that me doing things following along would affect how you see it. Sorry.
Well, because it blocks words.
Stop it.
I'd like to blame Trump, but honestly, if some random trolling was enough to swing a forum election, it was probably on shifting sands already. I still don't see how the Conservatives didn't jump on it, though. How they seem to have let the Liberals portray themselves as the nationalist party is just weird. Still, Trump has shown that talk about putting your country first ahead of globalism is a winning political strategy, and that seems to have proven true in Canada as well. This election also showed that, just like the last US election, guns played very little role in the results. While estimates show that 40% of the households in the US have a gun, only a small percentage of them think of guns beyond something to grab if they hear a bump in the night. The main issues in our recent election were illegal immigration and inflation, not guns. It sounds like the same was true in Canada. On being able to move away from bad gun laws, I agree with Dustin that in some ways the U.S. has an advantage with our fractured legal system. As Kyle has learned, though, it can be a double-edged sword. Getting laws passed federally is much harder than passing laws in a state, and this fact is used by both sides of the gun debate. In a somewhat liberal state like New Mexico, the gun control lobby will push anti-gun legislation even though the majority of the population may be pro-gun. They have infinite resources, and they figure even if they only have a slight majority of legislators, they can try again year after year until they finally get it through. In liberal states like Massachusetts and California, the whole situation is even worse. The current governor in Massachusetts was the attorney general before that and basically did her own version of an OIC. Out of the blue, she declared that many of the firearms already registered and considered legal under the state's draconian assault weapon law were actually illegal and had to be destroyed, sold, or removed from the state. The state legislature and courts all went along with it, and as far as I'm aware, that's still the case there. It may be decided at the federal level, but no one is holding their breath on that. On the flip side, literally every state has some form of concealed carry available, and over half have permitless, aka constitutional carry, but even there you have to be careful. Many pro-gun states like Texas have some really repressive laws around guns hiding in the closet. For example, here in Georgia, it's no problem legally carrying in place that simply put up no gun signs, unless it's one of the few restricted areas, jails, courthouses, etc. The worst that can happen is the proprietor might ask you to leave. In Texas, you can be, and often are, charged with a misdemeanor crime in that same situation, and I believe a repetition will increase that to a felony charge, which can lose you your right to own guns.
That's crazy.
People also think that Florida is a pro-gun state. But after the Las Vegas attack, they passed a bunch of gun control laws, including a vaguely written bump stock ban that could get you in trouble for a trigger job.
Yep.
This same ridiculous law was sidetracked nationally when Trump had the ATF look into banning bump stocks at the rulemaking level. The Supreme Court overturned that last year, but it's still on the books in the crime-shine state. Or gun-shine state. Sorry, not crime. In short, if you are even toying...
You were correct. It was also the crime shine state. So
that's more like Crimefornia.
California?
California, Crimefornia, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. In short, if you're even toying around with thoughts of moving to the U.S., please take a good look at the current gun laws in the state you are looking at. Best wishes, Spencer in Smyrna.
Thank you, Spencer.
Yes, thank you. That was an awesome read, very insightful, and I like the state. overall, I like the state-to-state gun laws because it's just if they do ban something, it's not like across the board encompassing. It does make it difficult when you're traveling, and especially with the carry. Like, okay, what can I do here? What can I do there? Oh, New York, no, I don't even touch New York.
I know, right?
That kind of thing. But I mean, the Second Amendment, it's hard to beat that, and that's really, I think, basically the only thing that's held the states on for guns is that Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's just
and the strength of it.
the thing is Canada has in effect has fallen so behind. Can you say that? Well, our situation has gotten
it comes
so
down
much
to, like,
worse.
At inception, the U.S. decided to acknowledge firearm ownership as a right.
Yeah.
Whereas Canada, they're banned. You get the privilege of owning them, but you don't have they don't acknowledge a right to own them.
Right, but considering now effectively semi-auto center fire is pretty much banned, like our gun law has pretty much surpassed the UK in a sense.
In certain ways, in other ways,
certain
not.
ways, right?
Yeah.
Still can't have suppressors. I can't have my 30-round mag if I have a pump action AR.
You don't have to have a post this long on the back of your pistol.
I don't have pistols, so that's somehow worse. So it depends on who you are, right? Your grandfather in, for now, was a regular pistol, or if you have a short barrel pistol, I guess you're fine there too. But
no, it's very insightful, Spencer. As always, you always
Yeah.
write some good emails.
He does.
Before we get to YouTube, Nate had a comment here on the subject of the election. Parliament was shut down. Other parties' hands were tied. Allegations of voter padding, including employees taking ballots in a taxi where switching took place, etc., etc. Other parties did what they did.
There's a lot of allegations and all that. It
Yeah.
is what it is. This is our government now. It's the Liberal government. We're gonna have to do some. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to live with it because you're not going to get it overturned.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was. I don't know. I don't.
yeah, I don't know about the whole ballot box thing. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's hard to validate if it's true
me
or
of
not.
the Chad argument down in Florida way back when. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but I remember hearing like the hanging Chad and.
Yeah, let's move on.
What? Anyway,
Tony wouldn't remember, but that's okay because I think you might have been 12 when it happened.
oh, then I probably don't know how to properly English either.
I think the hanging
All right.
Chad, you probably would have went, "What the hell is that?" I have to now look it up and see when it was. Okay, proceed.
All right, let's go to Eddie's comment for our 2025 election night coverage. Hopefully, nothing is too out of the line that I couldn't read it. The first one,
Eddie's
elbows
good.
up. Did you guys see Carney Clown do his goofy elbow up dance during his celebration? I didn't wake up to that. It's
Oh, there's
very-
pictures.
I guess he had them raised straight up in front of him at head level, as if he was playing hockey. Someone would slide in low with an elbow to his gut. And yes, elbow up, as I understand it, is a dirty move when you body check your opponent. Really?
Yeah.
See Gordie Howe, aka Mr. Elbows, for an example. There's a good reason they named a meme after him, the Gordie Howe hat trick. 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 fight, usually after a dirty hit on someone, all in one game. Interesting. I did not know this. I'm not.
Yes. Elbows up.
I'm not that into sports, so I don't know about that much about this. That's interesting. Ah, okay. And the second one from Eddie. What a coincidence. Trump's suddenly start talking about 51st state tariffs again after 3 weeks of silence and on the day before the election.
Guess
he
what?
said-
It's, yeah.
They're not removing the tariffs. Just saying.
Well,
After
I don't
yesterday.
even know what tariff is on and off anymore. Like, what is going on? Has ammo prices gone up yet?
That's what we care about.
Oh, yeah. I'm not buying a new car, so that's fine.
All right. So, Tony, how old were you in the year 2000?
I was maybe 1 year old.
That's why you don't know about the hanging Chad.
I can tell you, I definitely do not speak English at the time.
Oh God,
Okay.
I'm so old. Anyway,
Eddie, what? BC did all right in this election. It was a close one. CPC gained the most seats of any party in
They did
BC,
great.
was
Yeah.
6 compared to the previous election. A lot of NDP seats turned blue. Were they blue or are they red? I don't know. Like, the BC thing is very confusing. Like, the BC Liberals became the BC Conservatives.
Yeah, it was
Well,
weird.
the BC Liberals were kind of like
Conservative, yeah.
the
They're like
Ontario
Australia.
Conservatives. They're by name, but they're actually the opposite.
Interesting.
So, Jegs mate, he lost his seat, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
That's too bad. Anyways,
Anyways, the minivan party, 7 people in total. Is that what it is?
Yeah, 7. So they don't even have party status, as far as I know.
I don't know what the what would the status.
But now
meetings
think of this: after this election, they don't have party status. So Canada is a 2-party country.
yeah, they get their
Does
caucus meetings.
Bloc have party status?
Or oh no, sorry, yeah, 3 because they got 23
3-party.
seats. Yeah, so 3 parties. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a block. They're Quebec. So
They've gained.
Quebec.
They also gained in Quebec, but Saskatchewan, you fucked us over. Thank you very much. Just have to say.
the
How many
one
red
seat.
do they only 1 seat, right?
Yeah, but that 1 seat is half.
It looks huge.
Anyways, we're apolitical podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, we're not political at.
No, we're not political at all. We're just
Okay.
covering election night stuff. This is all facts, okay? This is all facts.
There's a little bit of a reason why I wasn't able to be on that show, by the way.
Yeah, fair. As for Pipeline East, how about we build it up to Ontario, then load the tankers at port in St. Lawrence River to head out to the Atlantic. No infrastructure and construction required for Quebec. If they Quebec, if we don't want if they don't want a pipelines. I guess you can also do it in Thunder Bay. It would just be really not efficient.
Thing is, it's
Yeah.
not just Quebec, it's Ontario too. As far as I know.
Wow, now we need to investigate the cost effectiveness of icebreakers in the
Because I would like
Hudson
to
Bay.
see. Hey, you don't want this? Okay, well we have enough to support us, so we're banning the import. And okay, so
Well, right.
anyways,
Now I'm thinking Eddie's comments were probably held for some time, because the last one of his on the election night coverage was the final polls reporting our election results don't look so good now. Liberals 169, Conservative 144, Bloc 22, NDP 7, and Green 1. This almost majority government may last nearly 4 years again, as NDP are back in play once more. I think we're screwed, well, except for Kyle.
that shows he commented 6 days ago. I think he watched it after the fact.
After the fact, yeah.
But a bunch of comments from 4 more comments on last week's episode.
Yeah, I can go through them. Illegal Canadian, that is on 603, by the way. Per the Firearms Act, the automatic ATT attached to your PAL authorizes transport your restricted firearm and handgun within your province of residence to and from all shooting clubs and shooting ranges that is approved under Section 29. The shooting club in most instances is the facility itself, which may or may not contain a number of shooting ranges. So the CFO's argument that you are transporting illegally between ranges would be moot, as you will be covered by the fact that you will remain in the confines of the shooting club. Okay, I got what you're saying. So I believe it was Dave bringing up that their CFO got mad that they cannot wear their pistol.
No, the CFO didn't get mad. The CFO got mad at them wearing a pistol between bays.
Between bays.
And
so
illegal's basically saying what we all thought. No, you're on the range property. You're covered. But I guess the CFO tried saying, no, it's that bay, not the property.
wow.
Oh.
Each province have their own CFOs. Not every CFO is Dr. Terry Bryan. So sometimes it's just unfortunate. I'm gonna say at BTSA on events we wear our pistols into the clubhouse. We eat lunch with the pistols.
Yeah, and that I feel that argument could go either way, because you also get approved hey, this bay or this area, the shotgun area. Well, you can't shoot pistols here. Like, you're not authorized, like the CFO hasn't signed off to shoot pistols there because that range hasn't been built for shooting pistols. So I could see the argument going both ways, but I do believe you're on the property or whatever.
Have you ever shot a 3-gun stage where you have to have your pistol with you when you're shooting all the stuff?
Yeah, actually, Peace River makes that a rule, and there's like a 3-gun competition. Absolutely, you're carrying your pistol all the time.
Yeah, would you not be present on a range that may not be certified for pistol?
I may know of some ranges and matches that at a closed event, and we were told, the organizers of said match were told by the inspector that while it wasn't approved for public use, if you were going to hold a private event, which is what a competition is, that check with your insurance to make sure that your insurance will cover any incident that happens on the property, not on a certified bay. Just to basically said, if you're going to do this, make sure your insurance covers you.
CCFR. Join the CCFR. Come with insurance.
Your range insurance, not your personal.
Oh,
insurance.
your range.
Your range.
Ranges can purchase CCFR.
Yeah, true. Get your range to sign up with CCFR as well.
Anyways, let's move on. Kelly's getting tired.
Kyle, can you help me with the next one?
Sure.
There's too many words.
It's Al Gore, or I mean AI Ogre, or Al Ogre.
What?
Yeah.
It's about a Shrek?
No, Al Gore, the U.S. politician.
Yeah.
Anyone else notice that on the thumbnail for this episode? It's Al Gore, or I mean Al Ogre. I did not notice. I think it might have spelt all incorrectly. I'd have to pull up the full image to look.
I was busy while you guys were talking.
I
was looking at. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Did we do a comparison of the election? I know we're an apolitical show. We talk about guns, but we're talking about election right now. So I have a question. Did we go through and look at each of the ridings and how the People's Party of Canada had affected some of them? So the people that would have voted for them, how it
we have not looked at.
We should do that because.
We should.
By the way,
I don't think there was as big of a thing as last time.
It wasn't as big of a thing, but again, there was no seats that were won. But in some of those ridings, there was. Yeah. I know that there's one riding in particular that the Conservative, the Liberals won by 400 seats, and there was 500 people that voted People's Party.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. That's a good idea. We should do that.
Yeah, because people are idiots. Okay. Yep. Let's move on.
Okay. On to the next one from Eddie. Sorry, Tony. I'm just jumping in here doing it. Tony, I haven't had any problems with the AccuTrigger on multiple Savage rifles. I think you just got a dud. I feel the Dingus, trigger bar safety, is a good, reliable design and have no concern setting it on the lower side. The Trigger Tech and Timney don't have a dingus, so I agree they shouldn't be set too low for hunting or rough use. I've never owned a 303 rifle either and went straight for the 308. And yeah, no.
308 is
Very-
just more modern in general, right? 303s are. I don't know if they make like, there's still 6.5 Swede European hunting guns out there. I don't know if there's 303 British hunting guns out there. Maybe.
Possibly.
I generally don't have a problem with it. I have an 822. The active trigger worked just fine. I just don't like the adjustment tool. Like, give me a proper
Well, your adjustment
Allen
was
key.
traveling, right?
Yeah, that was. I don't know what happened. It was very odd. And
See what Savage does.
yeah, and my score sheet showed that. Like, as the weight got heavier, my spread got bigger. It was not very good.
Our last YouTube comment, and also from Eddie, those VR controllers that have an awful grip angle are just simulating a Glock.
Oh, that's not even
Shots
a problem. Oh, I don't have my Glock here, but it just, dude, I don't know. I've seen my friends play VR shooting games. Like, how do you rack an AK? Like, I have two things in my hand. Like, the whole idea is crazy. Like, how do you replace a magazine? There's a thing I need to drop on the ground. I need to pick one up. And does the rocking motion matter?
I think it's training a different thing. That's what your dry fire is for. And I could see the VR being useful, especially for hand eye, getting sights on and that. I think it would be. I haven't tried that system we were talking about, but I could see how it could be valuable.
I think it would be more useful
Valuable.
for like a
It's just-
shotgun sport.
It's training a different thing, right? Different element of shooting. But yeah, let's move on.
Let me see. Ooh,
I
other
don't
emails.
see.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything on Instagram. Discord's had some
We had some
activity.
discussions. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on Spotify. Sponsor links. What people bought from Cabela's and Brownells. Hey, we have links on the website. And if you're buying something online from Cabela's or Brownells, go click the link. Give us a little kickback. And at some point, we go through them and see what people bought. And it's really interesting to see what people are buying.
Yeah, we should do that sometime soon. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon and Player. If you like to support us, you can find us on both of these platforms. If you like to email the show like Spencer, send them to slamfireradio@gmail.com.
Like all our emails this week, not just
Yep.
Spencer.
That's true. But Spencer always sent the longest emails. Shout out and recommendations. Kyle? Kelly?
Okay,
No.
I will go. Recommendation. Don't let the election keep you down. Go out, shoot. Keep shooting. Shoot more.
Yep. Good recommendation. Go shoot. Shoot more. Wear apparel in the community. That's
We're apparel in the community.
that
CCFR
in
shirts.
Yeah. Screw Gray Man.
yes. Screw Grayman. Be loud and proud. The more people we have visible in the community, it means that we have more people that are aware or ask questions or spread knowledge.
It's funny. One of my colleagues, she mostly worked from home, and then one day she came into the office like, "Have you been shooting lately?" And I was like, "I think all of my guns are banned at this point."
No, it is
So-
not.
Not quite. I have pump shotguns. I have a lot of manual guns, actually. So,
Yeah.
just as a joke, I will give a shout out to Adriel and Kyle for maybe helping out with my whole shotgun project. Hopefully, I don't ruin it
Nice.
too much. But yeah, you'll see how the story develops here, probably on Discord.
Oh yeah, we have a Discord, don't
We do.
we?
And there is a link in the comments. You click that link, you can join our Discord server.
Good
Yeah.
job, Kyle.
Join our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Player. Join the CCFR. Important, very important, more than ever.
Important.
Important? Important?
Hey, we got bills to pay.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Next week, maybe.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.